Oh, I got caught in that. So we're all wondering, what got me here? Is it bad gear? Am I a bad player? Was I not getting healed? Or was it just bad luck? War is a very chaotic thing. Sometimes it looks like OPR. Sometimes it looks like GTA RP. Kind of looking at you, Group 10. But this video is going to break down what a traditional war bruiser should be wearing for gear, where to position yourself on the battlefield, where you should be finding heals, and maybe some reasons to just not cope about why you died. Having the right gear set when it comes to bruising makes the world a difference. The key pieces to this are your artifacts. You want the tumbler feet wraps and you want the Ankh amulet. The tumbler feet wraps help you with survivability in the clump by giving you extra fortification. It also allows you to do extra damage with the empower it offers. It offers like a little tiny heal that doesn't really do too much, but hey, it adds to it. And the Ankh amulet is great because you get more incoming healing. And this is huge for bruisers because we're caught in crashes, we're in bad spots a lot. We're trying to hold space on the point. So our entire job is to stay alive and push other people off of the point. So having these two artifacts just makes your life so much better. The rest of your gear is pretty easy to obtain. You're either going to get it from the Frigid Dawn set, which drops from Mutated Glacial Tarn dungeon, or you're going to get it from the Hive of Gorgons, and it's called the Hoplite set. Now you are going to need different weights to min-max yourself into medium. So you'll have a heavy chest, heavy legs, you'll have your tumbler feet wraps, which are light, and then your gloves or your headpiece, one is going to be light and one is going to be medium. I highly recommend just getting the Grave Robber's hat from the Ennead dungeon because you're going to be doing it to get your Heartrune anyway. You can add Insatiable Gravwell to that, makes it very easy, very simple. And then you just get the Hoplite gloves from the Hive of Gorgon in light, and you just add freedom to them. So at the end of your set, you're going to have Insatiable Gravwell on your helmet. You're going to have freedom on your chest, your gloves, your pants, and your tumblers. So you'll have 4 freedom, which will help with maneuverability, moving in and around the point. You won't get stuck in crashes as much. It's just so much better for your life. And then you'll also have Enchanted Ward on every piece except for your tumblers, which is okay because we already talked about the fortification you get from those. Now onto the jewelry. The Ankh amulet we talked about at the beginning. You want to add strike protection or slash protection to this. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just take less damage from whatever protection you put on it. It really depends on what your server's meta is, but ours is strike protection. So everyone's using their hammer to dog people down and just to plague them while, you know, waiting for a crash. The earring I use has Fortifying Toast, Refreshing Toast, and Regen on it. Some people like to use Nimble for the extra stam regen, but I feel Regenerating, Fortifying Toast, and Refreshing Toast are a great combination because when you take a potion, you gain extra Fortify, which gives you more armor, which makes you tankier. Your Refreshing Toast then makes the cooldown for those potions a lot less. And then Regen is, you know, you're just gaining health while passively doing whatever you're doing. The ring, there's a little bit of wiggle room as to what you can and should run. Party is a must, like an absolute must. That gives you an extra dodge just in case you need a get out of jail free card, and it just gives you overall more stam. Some people run slash damage on their ring. Some people run strike damage. They run empowering cleave, keen awareness, leeching is an okay option. But generally speaking, it's hardy, damage type, or keen, plus empowered cleave. This will help you achieve more uptime on all your empowers. But if you have questions about empower versus weaken, I should have a video up soon and linked in the description for you to see what you like best. Here comes the fun part, your weapons. Now you're running a hammer and a great axe as your 2 weapons. The hammer is a very standard meta item. Comes with Trenchant Strikes, Sundering Shockwave, and Plague Strikes. Your Trenchant Strikes gives you more damage on your heavy attacks. Your Sundering Shockwave applies rend to people you hit with Shockwave, and your Plague Strikes applies Plague to people that you're hitting with your heavy strikes, right? So your Trenchant Strikes and your Plague Strikes go hand in hand. The Shockwave adds rend, so you're just doing overall more damage with your hammer all the time. There isn't really any named items other than the one from the Trial of the Devourer, which is also known as the Sandworm. It comes with Thwarting Strikes and Shockwave on it, and then you add Plague Strikes. but for the most part, you're just going to craft this item. The Great Axe, however, does have some named items as well as some crafted ones you can make. Ideally, you want Refreshing Move and Enfeebling Maelstrom on your axe. Refreshing Move gives you, more CDR, which will allow you to crash more. We'll get into crashes a little bit later in this video. And then the Enfeebling Maelstrom just weakens your targets that you hit with the second spin of Maelstrom. Now, the third perk is up for debate. Some people run Vicious or Attunement. Those are like the two go-tos for Great Axe users. The one that I'm currently using is Vicious, Attunement, and Maelstrom. I don't have Refreshing Move on mine because I'm mainly a hammer enjoyer. So while I'm waiting for the crashes, I'm dogging people down with the hammer and plaguing them and, doing all the things that we just stated about the hammer. The Well of Fortune located in Cutlass Keys has a Great Axe called the Chopper. This has Vicious and Penetrating the Empowered, which will give you, more damage to targets that are empowered. It also gives you that Vicious, so you can do more crit damage, which in the passives of Great Axe also has more crit damage. So you can just add Enfeebling Maelstrom to this and have a pretty simple Great Axe. But if you're looking at higher tier wars, most people are expecting you to have Refreshing Move and Enfeebling Maelstrom as the two main perks. The last piece of gear you need is going to be your Heartrune. You're going to get your Heartrune of Detonate from the Ennead dungeon. You can do a regular one. It does not have to be mutated to get the base version of it. You're then going to upgrade it to be a Brutal Heartrune of Detonate, which escalates your explosion. It gives you plus 20% more explosion damage, but you gain rend while you're charging, hence why you need to cleanse pot before. Okay, you have your gear, you have your Heartrune, you're ready to go. Now we're going to talk about the positioning in the war. In today's meta, you have 2 point groups and 4 quad groups. Think of the point groups are just there to game tick, not die, keep getting influence for you, while your quad groups are there to push people off, make crashes happen, get the kills, do all the things that make the influence actually push. You'll often hear to them as top and bottom strong or top and bottom weak, depending on which quadrant you're in. So think of the flag divided into 4 different areas. We can go into more detail in another video if you'd like a full breakdown of the quadrants and what your actual nitty-gritty jobs are, right? But as a bruiser, you want to be finding open space because you don't want to get caught in a crash. If you get caught in a crash, the odds are you're gonna die. So the whole goal of you being there is to not die. You want to get in, get out, and do not overstay your welcome in the clump, or again, you will die, right? So in lower tier wars, you can kind of dog people down after the crash without really worrying about a re-crash, but it's best practice that as soon as you deado and get your combo off, you immediately charge out of the clump. You'll see in some of these clips where I definitely overstay my welcome, but that's because I know my enemy and I know that they're not going to re-crash right away. Whereas if you're in a more competitive war, you need to assume that the re-crash is happening as soon as your deado goes off. If you see a friendly, hit the same targets. Calling out names to your fellow bruiser, your VG, it's huge. This is a 50v50. It's not a 1v1. So don't get caught up with your ego trying to kill somebody because you're going to mess up and you're going to die. Now, I'm going to show you some examples of getting into a crash, using your kit, and getting out before it's too late. I'm going to show you some examples of dogging people down afterwards.
I gotta know.
So when you're entering the clump, you always want to cleanse first before you go in. Throw your grav well, hit your detonate, swing a couple times, and then hit your maelstrom. That way the detonate explodes when the maelstrom happens and causes a very large burst in damage. And then you can dog people down afterwards. As you can see, I'm kind of just hitting people here with my hammer because I know they're not going to re-crash on us. Whereas in other clips, you'll see that they try to re-crash on us, and it won't be safe to just sit there and dog people down.
Re-grabbing just on the outskirts. Look at that.
Yep.
Oh my
Shocking
God,
it for you.
so juicy.
Oh,
Clink,
shit.
clink. Oh my God.
Top right. Yep, right on you, Totten.
See it? Oh my God, and the flag. Look at the flag.
Yeah, I'm on flag. I just got 2.
I chunked a bunch, but I didn't get any kills out of that.
3. Oh, yeah, and crashing. That was pretty shit.
Big fan.
Copy. Bottom 3, come on.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
No.
Popping. The Ajax.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, go for it.
And get up.
Top left, top left, top left, top left. Alright, confirm these and we can win this.
Wait, he's on the countdown of the crash on respawn. Everything that dies right now gets long respawn timer. Now that we're done watching crashes, let's figure out where to find heals. You'll have an AoE healer putting big heals on the point, which can vary depending on where the open space is and when crashes are happening. But for the most part, you'll be in comms with your group healer, who'll be letting you know Sacred on OKB or Sacred in our quad. If each healer is putting their Sacreds in your designated quad, then almost the entirety of the point will have friendly heals. But don't be afraid to ask for a single target heal from your healer. Just don't be a dick about it. The health bars on the top of your screen don't always update fast enough for the healer to react. So if you know you just put yourself in a bad spot or you're getting hounded by some fans, just ask your healer for some heals. It's what they're there for. Now I'm going to briefly go over attribute splits. 700 gear score gets you either 300, which is 300 strength and 300 con. 300 con for grit, which is great. Or they go 250 strength with 350 con because 350 con gives you that extra added grit ward. Now, if you have 725 gear, you can go 350 con with 300 strength so you can do more damage. Or if you're a real freaking Giga Chad, you can do 350 strength with 300 con, and that way you still have grit, but your damage output is insane. Last but not least, we have your ability trees for your weapons. These are pretty standard across the board. Most people don't deviate too much. You might see some people change up the style, but that's just based on how they play. And this is what we have. If you want me to make a video on why the tree is this way and how the things work, I will gladly do that. But if not, here you go. And sometimes it really is just bad luck. Oh, I got kicked. And that sums up the Bruiser guide, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I am live on Twitch every day at noon Eastern if you want to talk New World. Stick around for some funny clips at the end that we got while we're recording all these wars. And please understand, this video is for people trying to get into wars. Not everything here is best in slot, but it's going to get you to a very competitive level and you can grow from there. But if you have any questions, leave some comments and I'll gladly get back to you. Thank you guys so much.
2, 1, grab.
I got fucking yeeted.
I'm just waiting.
Look at this clump back here. Look at me. Look at me out to the left. Oh my god, look at me. I'm jumping at all of them. Look at me.
I see you. I'm going.
All right, go for it. Connect four.
Right here.
Yeah, I'm on you. Go.
Follow up on it, kill everything.
Yes, sir.
We got at least 3 of that.
Yes, sir. That's how you clump, baby.
At least.
Crashing Oppo 2, 1, crashing Oppo now. Crash Oppo.
Oh, should I be crashing Oppo?
Crash Oppo.